when the right people come together at the right moment, when they care almost as much about winning as they do about each other, they can become the best of the best.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go! It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis and Jared DuBois. We are live. It is Sunday. MLS is back. You know, it kind of feels appropriate here. It's like the natural state of the best soccer show when we're doing our show while MLS is happening. That kind of feels like it's supposed to be the way of things.
The choice
right?
we make to have shows on Sunday nights predicates that a little bit. But
now we're in competition with all these spaces. Everybody's doing spaces all over the place. So many spaces happening. This space, that space, MLS space, other MLS space. We were the OGs live doing stuff talking about soccer, I feel like, right?
we didn't need space.
Right. We were closed. We were very close together. And we took phone calls. That's what we do. Now, maybe that's a little old-fashioned, but, you know, you pick up the phone and you dial up and here you are. You're on the show with us. 717-727-2378.
How did your team do? How did your team do? Give us a call. Let us. Not you. I mean, in general, give it.
I
not
you.
you.
Were setting me up.
No, God, I know you don't have a team.
My team is all of American soccer, Jared.
The Broncos are out.
I'm all of American soccer. I root for everybody.
Yeah, it must be nice. I can tell by how soccer vomited on the wall behind you.
I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to play. I want everyone to score goals. I want everyone to have a great time out there. That's all I care about, guys. Just go out there and have a great time. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm like the most American soccer fan there is because I'm
Listen,
like,
I want to hear from
from
everybody out there. Like, how did your team do week one? Like, what'd you see? What'd you like? What didn't you like? Come rep your team. Let us know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was a wild-ish. I mean, this is what MLS is, right? I do like when MLS delivers very MLS things from the very beginning. I do think we saw a lot of rough play.
Last year that happened.
A lot of teams that are still figuring themselves out because the preseason was shorter. I think we saw a couple of players maybe come up injured because of preseason, maybe not getting them 100% ready.
But there's also last year was bangers. Remember week one last year? It was banger central.
Yeah, okay. Well, we did get a couple of those. And we got a 90th minute winner from your boy, from Chicharito Hernandez scoring again.
Oh, I was there. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Your boy came in hot. Like, just got home like 20 minutes ago, coming right into the show. Haven't seen anything today yet.
What's interesting is that, you know, there was a time when there was no chance I was going to have any love at all for Chicharito Hernandez. I was going to hate the guy. When he made the move to Manchester United, I was an American soccer fan who hated on the Mexican player who had made the jump to the Premier League. And now I love that guy. I feel like he's probably the best teammate possible.
It's been hard for me, dude. Like, I have a team now that has Chicharito, which I have to root for, and willingly, because he works hard. You know,
he just seems like a really nice guy.
I know. I
really
hate
nice
it.
Guy.
I hate it. And then, in addition to that, I have Sasha Kleshtin on my team, who's what Chivas original. Like, I have had to go back on so many things, and also Sasha Kleshtin, fantastic guy, good dude, good dude. That guy, you know, and like. Oh, I just see him always doing the little crane Karate Kid thing on the boards right after he scored on the Galaxy, and I hate him when I think of that, but otherwise I love him.
We'll maybe talk about the MLS results. I don't think we want to heap any woe on Mr. Soup and Sausage. Holden's poking at him right now. Where are you at? Talk about your team. Obviously, Cincinnati did not have a good day down in the capital of Texas, so I might leave that aside. We've got Columbus making, I guess, a statement. I don't know if you consider that one a statement. Atlanta might be good again, although it's hard to know. First game of the year, how much that matters. There are some teams who look like we expected, which was not very good, and I'm not even including Cincinnati in that. So we'll maybe get to all of that. I definitely think with the phone lines, not only your MLS impressions from week one, but Jesse Marsch, it looks like the reports out of England are that Jesse Marsch is going to take over for Marcelo Bielsa, who is absolutely gone. He's already been fired. That has happened. In fact, I saw some images of Bielsa signing autographs as he was leaving the training ground after he had got the boot. the fans lining up and thanking him because he did get Leeds back to the Premier League. Which how long had it been, Jared? Like the last time Leeds was in the Premier League, Jared DuBois was yucking it up with his weirdos in San Diego. That's how long it's been since Leeds United was in the Premier League.
Wasn't Eddie Lewis on Leeds the last time they were in the Premier League, or was he in the Championship?
That might be right. No, I think he came in after they had dropped down to the Championship. Obviously, Leeds had a financial meltdown, which is why they ended up where they did. They had to climb their way back up. They were in the Championship for years and years and years, and they finally made it under Marcelo Bielsa. And now he's out because they look like they might be going down again if they don't turn things around. And he was always the kind of coach, Bielsa, who I know people revere him because he is the sort of prototypical, passionate, I play my way coach, right? Like we have our version now, Matias Almeida, in Major League Soccer. It's the same idea. Like, I don't care who my players are. I don't care what you tell me your team is going to, what the other team's going to do. I'm playing my way. This is how we play. This is the only proper way to play football. That was Marcelo Bielsa, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants Bielsa until you have Bielsa. Like, he's the guy everyone always wants to come into their team to inject passion, to inject energy. And then you realize, dude's a lot to take.
Oh, yes, right.
He comes with some stuff, not just high energy soccer and like fantastic quotes. Like he's got a lot of these kind of things, but at the end of the day, 2-3 seasons in, you're like, okay, we're kind of tired of this now.
Well, the thing about the way that Bielsa plays is that the ceiling is really high if you get it to work, but as we've seen with some other high intensity systems, you can squeeze really hard. The players just get gassed. Now you don't have, and we saw this with San Jose quite a bit with Almeida. And I'm not saying they're playing the exact same system. But you look at San Jose, they were notorious for shipping 5 and 6 goals in a game because their system leaves all these gaps, right? It's like we play high intensity, we try to recover the ball, we try to use that to our advantage, and when that works, that's great. But if it's not working and the other team figures you out, you leave big gaps, you get ripped wide open, and you give up a ton of goals. And that's been Leeds' problem, right, is they give up a ton of goals. So what's interesting, and okay, let's do this because Ray is waiting. And you did open up the phone lines to talk Major League Soccer. So let's talk to Ray from Milwaukee about MLS in Week 1. Ray, you're on the Best Soccer Show. What's up?
I think the biggest storyline is the LA teams. I think that I'm going to say something controversial here. Is I think Bob Bradley's one of the most overrated American coaches. And do you think that he underperformed at his time with the talent that he had? I thought he was outcoached at times in the playoffs as well as the CCL. And if they had a coach like Bruce Arena with that level of talent, do you think they would have won a championship?
Interesting. Now,
okay, so first of all, it's hard to call a coach overrated when he won an MLS Cup in the first year a team ever existed. Now,
his first year as a head coach, MLS. By the way.
It's 24 years ago. 24 years ago.
It's a long time.
It's quite some time ago. But I also think that he did quite well with LAFC, given the fact last season he had Carlos Vela had injury issues. I think it was always going to be the kind of a 3-year project there at LAFC under him. I mean, they came in hot. They signed some fantastic talent from outside the U.S., but that talent was always using LAFC as a springboard. If you think anything else, I think you're kidding yourselves.
Well, that doesn't mean okay. Well, I do think that I don't know what it was like behind the scenes, and I find it crazy to imagine that Bob Bradley was just like, yeah, sure, trade Walker Zimmerman, let's just do that.
But is that Bob Bradley?
No, that's
or was that
what I'm
Thornton?
saying. I don't know, and I don't know exactly how the transfer policy meshed with Bob's vision of the team. And they traded away a number 1 center back, a top center back in the league. Yeah. They never had a goalkeeper they could trust, right? Yeah. So they had issues.
Mark-Anthony Kaye had a great early first year, and they took too long to replace him as he wasn't showing the signs of being able to hold water. I mean, their best season was when Mark-Anthony Kaye had his best season,
and they didn't ever until they brought in Arango last year. They never really had a center forward they could trust either. So they're rotating out. They're playing kids in that position. They're squeezing as much as they can out of Bradley Wright Phillips in the end of his career. You know, I'm trying to remember who they had the Swedish dude whose name I can't remember who was there and left. I mean, they just didn't have consistency in that team. So I don't know. I mean, he played some of the best soccer in MLS we've ever seen in 2019. Of course, he didn't win a championship, and to that point,
he played really good
outcoached.
one-way soccer. I mean, Bob Bradley didn't ever develop a coherent defense the entire time he was there. You know, maybe you could say the first year when Walker Zimmerman was there, maybe that was a little bit different, but this team was a beat everybody by 2-3 goals kind of team, and they could do it sometimes.
I don't think that's quite fair. They weren't attacked to the point of not caring about their defending. I think they were attacked.
They haven't had a good center. They were playing poor center backs for a couple of years.
How many goals? So I mean, obviously 2019 is I guess your point is that if you have the ball and you score, you keep the other team from having the ball and scoring, and therefore your defense looks good, even if it's not really that good. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. So they gave up 37 goals in 34
But then when you don't have
games.
Carlos Vela and you're not pushing teams offensively like you used to, your defense gets exposed.
How much do you put that on ballot? 2019 is a COVID year. Vela decides not to go to MLS back. MLS is back. They have all kinds of issues with personnel. 2021, they're rebounding. Vela's not healthy. I mean,
game one, was it first game or second game of the season? The dude goes down.
Out. How much do you put on Bob's shoulders for that? I mean, I don't know.
That's a tough thing because Bob Bradley has to play with the team that he's given. But let's be honest, John Thornton gave him a team that was heavily dependent on Carlos Vela. That maybe not okay. That's not fair actually because they have really good talent around him. Really good talent around him. And Rossi.
Well, that's the point I was trying to make. I just think that that team was talented enough to win. At times, that team was talented enough to win, and they lost to teams that were not as talented as them. It's not like they lost in an MLS Cup final. They lost
in a Western Conference final to the eventual champion. I mean, and a team.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about it more like last year. I think last year is the one he's more talking about.
I mean,
but how many teams can perform when they lose an MVP caliber player? Not many.
I think you're being harsh on Bob, but I understand what you're saying, Ray. Now, the other LA team. Since you're here talking LA teams, you're impressed by the Galaxy in week one, Ray?
Yeah. Well, you could say I'm impressed, but that is the defending MLS champion. The only thing I don't like is that the LA Galaxy is going out here and saying that Chicharito needs to play for the Mexican national team. You know, Chofis Lopez scored a goal too. I don't see San Jose going out here.
Yeah, how do you feel about when MLS corporate is putting a front page thing on the website like, "Pay attention, Tata, Chicharito scored."
I'm not a fan.
He scored a goal.
I'm not a fan.
Scored a goal, and you're out here you're adding Tata.
He scored like 17 and 20 games last year. If he's healthy, he is. And obviously 2019 or 2020 rather was an outlier, apparently. I mean, I know we've built him up. 2020 messed with everybody's head. I almost said that F-bomb. Messed with everybody's head. And he wasn't in a good place, clearly. And I'm not saying you just give him a pass on that, but he was more Chicharito Hernandez last year, scoring 17 goals, than he was in 2020. And he's looks like he's still that guy now. I mean, one goal is not the 3 that you saw Carlos Vela score, but it's still fairly impressive.
I thought Vela's very impressive on the day. I think the Galaxy did okay in this game. They're playing the MLS Cup reigning champions and end up getting a 1-0 result in a game where they dictated most of the play. I don't think NYC last maybe 20 minutes they had a few good forays, but I'm going
to move on from Ray. I do appreciate it because I do want to get to Jesse Marsch, but we got a comment. Chicharito was invisible the entire game until the goal. Did you feel that way, Jared?
No, I didn't feel that way at all. I mean, maybe it doesn't. I'm thinking I didn't watch it on TV. I watched it in person. He was doing a ton of running, a ton of really good runs. That is, the other players weren't finding him on. He's doing a lot of work in 50-50 balls.
He's a service player. He needs service.
Doug Costa didn't look good. Doug Costa looked like a guy that's out of shape.
Are we shocked?
There was a number of times where I thought, wow, why isn't he hustling back to the other side of the field? He had just made a defensive run and couldn't get back to the other side of the field. It was kind of shocking, actually, because he was playing for Gremio not too long ago.
Well, he was not. I don't know how good he was or how much fitness work he was putting in. I mean, he could be. I think he's something of a luxury player anyway. And then
at one point, he missed a simple trap, and went and fouled the guy because he was pissy about it.
That was a big risk. It's a big risk. It's a wild move for Los Angeles to say Douglas Costa is going to be important. All right, let me talk about Jesse Marsch before we get back to the phone lines, and you can call us up and we'll drop you in. That's how this works. 717-727-2370. Jesse Marsch at Leeds United. We had a bunch of comments from people talking about that when we brought it up. It is obviously, look, Jesse got fired for not performing to the standards of Leipzig. So he's not in a position to be picky about his job. Not really. I mean, I suppose he could say, well, I'm not going to take a Belgian job. I'm going to wait for a top 5 league job. Or I'm not going to take a relegation fodder team in Germany. I'll wait for something better than that. Clearly, Leeds United is in a relegation fight in the most visible league in the world. I saw at least one person describe this as a poison chalice because of the state of Leeds right now. But there's also a flip side that what Bielsa didn't do in terms of fixing the club defensively, Jesse could. I'm not saying he will. I don't know. He could do, which could save them, and in which case he would be a hero and get a chance at a full season.
Objectively, if you could pick any club in the world or something like that, like, is this realistically the place that Jesse should go?
No. I mean, what does that mean? Again, I don't know what.
I don't know. I'm back and forth on it because you have a team that plays a high pressing style, which I think Jesse Marsch would like to play. They're already doing that. They're just not good defensively. Mm-hmm. But if I'm a Leeds fan, I'm like, this guy just lost his job in the Bundesliga after 2 months. Like, why are we taking a risk on him?
I would be curious.
Dude's failing upwards.
I don't think we have a ton of Leeds fans sitting around, right? In the chat. But if we have anybody who supports Leeds, I would love to know. Would you rather have Sam Allardyce? I mean, this is a pick your poison for Leeds fans. Let's just do it this way, okay? Sam Allardyce sitting around, known for keeping teams up when they're in relegation fights, or Jesse Marsch, who had a very good reputation before he got the Leipzig job, suffered a bit there, clearly had a mismatch in terms of his approach and the personnel that was at Leipzig. He's a better fit for the personnel at Leeds than he was for Leipzig, just based on the fact that Bielsa helped build this team, and Bielsa's style is a lot closer to Marsch's than Nagelsmann's was when Nagelsmann was at Leipzig. So you tell me, which one? Pretend to be a Leeds United fan.
If I'm a Leeds United fan, all I care about, if all I care about is staying up, grab Sam Allardyce. But if I'm interested in actually the next 5 years of the club, I'm looking at Jesse Marsch. So it really depends on what type of fan you are and what do you want long term or do you want short term? If you want short term, Sam Allardyce is your guy. Proven track record.
What is Sam going to do? Sam's going to come in and say, we're going to put 9 men behind the ball.
I don't know what he does. He just works. I don't know. It works.
That's what it is.
There's something to be said about being talismanic, dude.
When you're okay, sure. Again, if you have a track record of this, I can't deny that he does.
I don't know what he comes in there and tells people believe. I don't know what he says.
You have to do it in a big, like a deep voice British accent. You have to do an English accent. Believe, lads. What do you have, lads? They say lads.
I'm gonna let you do this. I'm not doing it. I don't have that tool in my bag.
Right now, Leeds is on 23 points. They're in 16th place. They're a point up on Everton, who's in 17th. And then Burnley, Watford, Norwich are in the relegation zone. It's 2 points between Leeds and Burnley in 18th place. So there's a team between you and the relegation zone, and you have 2 points right now. The problem is that Burnley has 2 games in the hand on Leeds.
Was it like 6 games left?
As well. Leeds would have 8 games left. Everton has 10 games. No, sorry, that's not right. Leeds would have 8 games left. Everton would have. Did I have that right? No, 12 games. Sorry, it's 12. I can't do math. 12 games for Leeds and 14 for Everton. 14 for Burnley.
Man, honestly, I would take Sam Allardyce, and that's hard to say. Just because I would want my team to go down. You saw how long it took them to come back up the last time. It's keep your team up. Go with the hand that's hot. Go with the hand that's proven. And Jesse Marsch. Listen, if Sam Allardyce keeps him up, you can still let him go in the summer and bring Jesse Marsch in to start next season.
Let me ask you a different question. And again, there's a lot of things about the way Bielsa ran this team that says that Marsch can make a couple of small changes and improve the team and probably keep them up, right? I'm not guaranteeing that could happen. I'm just saying it's not as though there aren't some obvious things because Bielsa is such a fanatic that Marsch, if he's not a fanatic, can make it better. If you go with Sam Allardyce, again, you're going with a track record of keeping teams up when they are threatened by relegation. You could say Marsch doesn't have that experience, and that's true. And I guess if Allardyce is available and wants the job, sure, that's an option. But it's not like Jesse Marsch is ever going to get the experience of keeping a team up if somebody doesn't give him the opportunity.
Yeah, but do you want him to get that experience with 2 months left in a season, or do you want him to build into a season, get the chance to actually show what he can
Well, I'll
do
tell
with
you
a team
this.
that's his and
Jesse's not gonna
stand
get a-
behind it?
He's not going to get a. You think he's going to get a Premier League job in the summer? You think that's
No,
possible?
I think he has to. I think this is way too big of a step, and at the wrong time of the season.
So you're saying that you risk damaging your reputation too much to
Yes.
take this job?
Yes, but he's on the slide right now. Like the dude, look at Leipzig right now, back up to 4th with the crappiest start that they had. You know, they've won they've won 4 of their last 5. The team can win. The team was good enough to win. Jesse didn't get him there. They were good enough to win last season.
But again, I think if
what's
you're
the thing
not-
that's in between? It's Jesse Marsch.
But
He's
if you're
got to
not-
prove something. I don't think you go
man.
someplace else where
Okay.
it's a boutique job.
I let's not fall into the trap though of reductionism and just putting it. Okay, so again, you go to Leipzig and say, well, look how much better they are after Jesse Marsch left. But everybody involved in that said, and this is on Jesse too for taking the job, right? He's the one that when Nagelsmann left for Bayern Munich and they called him up in Salzburg and they said, hey, do you want this job? He said he looked at the roster, he looked at the team, he looked at the way Nagelsmann was playing, and he went, yeah, sure, I'll take it. He, after the fact, and even before he left the job, said, no, I don't think this is right. Like, I don't think that this team wants to play the way I want to play. Now, do you blame Marsch for not adjusting, right? That's what we said. Should Jesse Marsch suddenly become a different coach philosophically because Leipzig wasn't set up to play the way that he was taught to play under Ralf Rangnick in the Red Bull system?
He's got to be a strong enough coach to either say, I'm gonna play my own style, or rather than. Listen, he's also playing the Red Bull style. Let's not make it sound like he's like took over and it's another.
Sure, but
he's
again,
playing in that system.
Right. So that's my question, though, right? The question is, Red Bull, having brought him over to coach under Rangnick at Leipzig before he went to Salzburg, before he found success, before he got on video yelling at his team in Austrian/German/English, all those things, is he committed to that? Does the club bear responsibility for training him in that style of play?
The club doesn't bear any responsibility. They
I'm saying
adequately trained him to do the job and play the game they wanted to play, and then he didn't. The players either didn't respond or he didn't execute the game plan correctly. That's on Marsch. It is. It wouldn't be on Marsch if Leipzig was toiling in 12th right now.
No, but the team's okay. The kind of players. This is why if I'm really just kind of pondering this whole Leeds thing, because you're saying that the timing is bad. That obviously if they don't stay up, it's a big black market. It's Jesse Marsch, and maybe he never gets another big job. I understand that that's a risk. At the same time, the team Leeds has, the individual players and the makeup of that squad better fits Jesse Marsch than what he was dealing with at Leipzig. Yes or no?
Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Based on how Bielsa played and the team they built that came up from the championship under Marcelo Bielsa,
Yeah.
are they better equipped to play Jesse Marsch's style of play
Absolutely.
than Leipzig was, right? You're saying Leipzig has obviously got players good enough to succeed at 4th place right now in the Bundesliga after
Yeah.
the bad start under
Yeah.
Tedesco. Fine, that's fair. That you can argue, but clearly there was a disconnect between what Marsch likes to do or his philosophy of play. And again, I just wonder if
Or
we're
just being
supposed to,
American.
like, nobody says to Pep Guardiola, you need to change who you are as a coach, right?
That's not fair.
What's not fair about it?
Pep Guardiola's resume is a little bit better than Jesse
but-
Marsch's.
Okay, hold on. You're not listening to what I'm saying. Okay, Pep Guardiola comes up at Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
And he's trained in a style of play.
So you're
He
saying no one
wants-
said that's Pep Guardiola back in the day?
I'm saying that when a team hires Pep Guardiola, they don't expect him to change, regardless of what.
No.
There've been a build towards him, right?
True.
So he goes to Bayern Munich and they get him the players necessary to pay Pep's style of play. He goes to City. They spend $1 trillion on the players that'll fit Pep Guardiola's style so that they can succeed. They didn't do that at Leipzig. They gave Jesse Marsch, Julian Nagelsmann's players and said, "Do your thing." And Jesse Marsch said, well, this is how I play. Let's go play this way. And the players who were playing a different style under Nagelsmann went, nah, we're not into that. And they dropped down to 12th, right? And Jesse loses his job. Is it on Jesse to arrive at Leipzig and say, well, these aren't players that are going to fit my philosophy. I better change. Or is it on the club for putting a coach who has a philosophy and a distinct idea of how to play?
I'm going to give you an oversimplistic answer to that. It's his job to win. Whichever one of those two things he has to do.
Okay,
Whichever
that's
one of those
fine.
two that
That's
his
fine.
job is to either change
And again, I
or
know
adapt.
he-
Whichever one's going to get the team wins. Because at the end of the day, the supporters don't give a crap what he feels like.
I know he has responsibility for taking the job, knowing it might be difficult, right? I'm presuming Jesse was just confident enough to believe that he could make that team play his way and be successful, and clearly that didn't happen.
Okay,
so if
I'm
he
gonna put
wasn't
this up
gonna
from.
adapt,
I'm
Go
gonna put
ahead.
this up from Connor right here. If Marsh burns out after 2 months, does that further ruin any coaching prospects for Americans?
Well,
Because
first of all-
we'll be 0 for 2 at that point. And Bob
sure,
Bradley.
but
and
I think well, okay. Bob Bradley, what, 6 years ago, whatever that was?
yeah, something like that.
Okay. Maybe on some level, but I also think that you have to have a coach who's even on a path. And right now, there's no, unless somebody does a Marsh, which is use the available avenue opened up to him by a Red Bull family of clubs to get to Europe, who's going to even, we talk all the time like, oh, Caleb Porter, could he coach in Europe? How? How is he going to get there? Where's the door open for Caleb Porter before Jesse Marsch ever got there? Before Jesse Marsch might fail, regardless of what Bob Bradley did at Swansea, right? Where's the door?
There's a
open?
part of me though that wants the next American that plays that coaches in the Premiership to be able to steer his own ship and start fresh, like at the beginning of a season. I don't know that I want the next American in the Premier League putting in a position where he's taking over 16th place team, and it has to try to make it work.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, you can choose not to take this gig and wait for another one.
But okay, so again, there may not be doors open to you in a top 5 league, except in this kind of scenario, right? I don't know how toxic he is in European or in German circles, rather, because of what happened in Leipzig. I don't know if he's got a taint, and I don't know if they're going to not hire him in Germany because of what happened in Leipzig. I don't know. I'm just saying that if you believe in yourself as a coach. And we say all the time that players should take the challenge, right? Go to Europe. Get out of your depth. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Try to figure out how to respond in that moment. We're asking him to not do that now? Why? Why are we not asking him to do that?
I mean, he's already gone out of his comfort zone. He worked his way up from the bottom, But I guess I'm just saying, if you're going to make another step after you just trip and skinned your knee, maybe you don't take the next step to the smallest rock that's out there and you try to find a safer landing zone.
Right.
Like, I think he's trying another pretty risky move as his next step.
Okay. I think this is Mr. JTT, Jonathan
You
Tanner.
better have his drop ready if you're going to do
Hold
it.
on, I do. Hold on, give me a second.
Is that JTT?
OMFPG-13, it's JTT!
There he is, Mr. Tannewald.
I got carped at by somebody recently. I forget whether I said this on the show, but I call into other people's shows too often. So I apologize again. But
Don't listen to those people, JTT.
No, you can call in wherever you want to call in. Call everybody.
I had your social media coordinator on one of my shows a few days ago. So
Wow.
returning the favor.
Shout out to Morgan.
What you feel about Jesse Marsch?
Look, so here's my theory about Jesse Marsch. And I think Jason was actually alluding to this while I was on hold, which is fine. He said, and the club said, and the players, everybody said at Leipzig when he was fired, that it was improperly handled by Leipzig. So this was one of the most unusual managerial firings I've seen in a while. This was not, you stink, get out of here. We actually mishandled this on multiple levels, set up something that failed. We're stuck in 12th. We're going to make a panic decision here and go hire somebody else. And they did. And Tedesco, who I did not think was going to get them up to 4th, given what he did at Schalke, has gotten them up to 4th. I'm pretty astonished that Leeds is interested in him in the first place. And I would ask both of you, if you can remember, one of you two mentioned failing up. Tell me the last time an American manager failed upward quite like this.
That's a good point.
Because I can't remember.
The only thing I can think is
That's
close.
confident
It's not even quite at the same level, but Bob Bradley failed to get Egypt into the World Cup and then got a job in the Premier League.
Not directly.
Well,
Not
He didn't go right from there. He didn't go to Scandinavia in between there. I'm pretty sure he went to
No.
France. Sorry, he went to France between there.
Yeah.
But the fact that, and yes, I know that Leeds has some American investment and whatnot, but the fact that enough people at Leeds think highly enough of Jesse Marsch and think that he can do this. And oh, by the way, we're trying to help Leatherton sign Jesse Marsch as star pupil not all that long ago. and couldn't get him because Salzburg wasn't going to let him go. Understandably. Somebody at Leeds has a bigger idea here of what Jesse Marsch can be, and I think that, obviously he's going to be on a tightrope because every English team is on a tightrope. Every manager of an English team is on a tightrope, and when you're an American in England, we know how that goes. And it still does, no matter what anybody wants to say. But I look at Leeds' games that are left. There's a lot of winnable games in that lot, including against Watford, which is very much in the relegation.
That's a
mix.
6-pointer. Yeah.
Brentford, Brighton, a few others. They can get out of it. There are winnable games on this scale. They were playing a bunch of unwinnable games left down the rest of the season, and Marsch was looking at this thinking, are they going to have faith in me if we go down? They've got an opportunity to stay up here if they can win some of these games.
Jared, they have Norwich. They still have Norwich, Watford.
Josh Sargent's on fire, though. I don't know if you heard.
Brentford. Those clubs are all on their schedule still at this point. So
I put it to you. I put it to you, JTT. We did a pick your poison. If you're a Leeds fan, do you want Sam Allardyce or you want Jesse Marsch?
I'm not from there. I mean, I know there's a lot of Yorkshire descendants in Philadelphia, but I'm not. I don't know that I don't have as good a read on that club as I used to. Because we know that used to be one of the most parochial clubs in England, and an American manager would not go over with the supporters in the same way that it might now. But I think that Allardyce is, I don't know, Jason, you follow the NFL more closely than I do. How many coaches in the NFL get rehired every 5 minutes?
Quite a few.
Yeah, a lot. More than you would think.
College, too.
I think Lovie Smith just got a job again,
To me,
right?
Allardyce is in that class.
So here's what I think. It's to me, I think of Pulp Fiction, man. When things go wrong, you call the wolf. You call the wolf.
The wolf?
How is he not the wolf?
He's not nearly cool enough to be the wolf. But
Not cool. No, absolutely. He can't wear tux like that. But I'm just saying, you got brains in the back seat.
So,
you might call Sam Allardyce.
Look, I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist on the American connection. I don't want to be that guy, but it's kind of hard to ignore, and you certainly have to acknowledge it. And we talked a little bit about this when Ricardo Pepi was bought by Augsburg, right? Why did they spend that much money, breaking their own transfer record by a lot, to go sign an 18-year-old American player? Is he going to save them from relegation? And right now, he's not saving them from relegation. He hasn't scored a goal yet for them. And then you find out, the guy who just bought RSL, he owns part of Augsburg. It's in his portfolio, right? Is that a reason maybe they went after an American player? And in this case, and I don't know that this is Jesse Marsch's standing in Europe is good enough, even if it's not great, that some clubs would look at him regardless. But the San Francisco 49ers do own Leeds United to an extent. Like, they own a major part of it. Is there somebody in charge at the holding company saying, hey, we should go get an American because it would be good for our club if he succeeds there?
It could be that, but at the same time, the American and the American that they're trying to sign, and Brandon Aronson, both play for one of the hottest up-and-coming teams the last couple of years in Europe in Salzburg. They've done amazing things at a lower division level. They're not in the German Bundesliga, it's the Austrian Bundesliga, and they're pushing Champions League teams around, and these two guys are part of it. So does it help that they're American? Maybe, but they're good enough to get these jobs on their own. Let's not put too much into that.
Because you're basically saying is Jesse Marsch the coach that had Salzburg, and by the way, Salzburg is succeeding now, and I know Jonathan already mentioned the idea of that coach, Red Bull Salzburg's coach, being in demand now because of what they've done to get to this point in the Champions League, and they're going to go win another Austrian title, although that's not saying a whole lot. It is, what is his name? How do you say it, Jonathan? I'm going to let you pronounce the guy. Go ahead.
Hold on a second.
Matthias what?
I was looking something up about Matthias Jasel, I think is how it's
Jasel.
Okay. Is how it's pronounced,
so
maybe.
I'm surrounded by too much Spanish. My brain wants to turn the J into an H all the
Yeah,
time.
no,
Yeah, so it's Jasel, we think.
You and I know people who know how to pronounce it. We can go ask them tomorrow.
That's all right. So I guess, is Jesse Marsch the coach that had Salzburg playing good soccer and pushing Liverpool to the brink at Anfield, or is he the coach that failed at Leipzig? Or is he
gets the
somewhere
credit.
in between?
He gets the credit because he's the guy that was running the show, and like I say, that was his show for a number of years. So I think it's just Jesse Marsch gets to ride that wave, but he also has to take the hit. He has to take the hit for the Leipzig job, as unfair as they want to say it is.
Took the hit.
He did. He admitted.
He said he took the hit.
Yeah.
The sporting director of Red Bull's whole global thing, his name I'm blanking on, he took the hit too.
Mm-hmm.
They all took the hit publicly. But your friend Sam Allardyce, here, the last time he was called in as the emergency savior for somebody was West Brom last season, right? I believe. 26 games. He was hired in December of 2020. 4 wins, 7 draws, 15 losses. And they went down.
Yeah.
Back to
He's not perfect.
13 points.
The Wolf
Into the
does
relegation zone.
the Wolf doesn't screw up, Jared. Sam Allardyce is not. He's not the Wolf because the Wolf doesn't ever make a mistake, as far as I know. Getting stuff cleaned up, fixing a problem. But Big Sam, and look, his reputation is bigger maybe than his actual ability to do the job anymore. And again, I don't know. For Leeds, is it that desperate? John can answer this question too, but I'm going to put another pick your poison on you, Jared. Let's say Matthias Jasel is taken away from Salzburg. Somebody comes in, gives him a big amount of money, and he leaves. And I know this is now and Leeds in a relegation fight, but if you had on the table before you for Jesse Marsch the Leeds United job, I guess now, or the Salzburg job. Now, I know Champions League is a factor here. You're saying take the Salzburg job over the Leeds United job.
No, you can't go Benifer. This many years later, you can't go back to that couple again. You can't go Benifer.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
You look forward. You don't look back.
Okay. All right. So
I honestly, I think it's option C is what you should do. Is probably not take either of those and just land at the championship club or land at a La Liga club. Or I'm not sure where he went. I don't know what offers he has.
There's no guarantee of any of that.
Jared.
No, it's not.
Jared.
Yes, sir.
And I guess, let me ask you this, Jared, and you want me to really slap a hornet's nest, here I go. Say he doesn't take this job for whatever, or doesn't get this job for whatever reason. Or if he lasts, I don't know, a year and a half, or I don't know. If we are talking in February 23 will be next season, so maybe he still has it.
Okay.
For how long does he take whatever his next job is? I'm leading the witness here, and Jason knows it, which is why I'm asking Jared.
How long does he sit on the sideline?
If he doesn't take it?
So if he doesn't take this job, what does he do? What's his move?
Because
You're saying,
the other job?
When Greg Berhalter screws up next month, he takes over the U.S. team.
Well, if Greg
Not
Berhalter
next
screws
month,
up,
next year.
We're talking about next year. We're not talking about next month.
So
about post World Cup.
So you're saying that he doesn't take this job right now. What's his next move?
I think that there are a lot of people for whom that's his next move, regardless. I don't know what he's thinking.
I think he needs to pick a project club.
There are a lot of people who.
I don't think he wants the U.S. men's national team job. Okay, so I think we can.
I want him, but
Really?
I don't. Not now.
Really?
I don't think he wants it now.
I want to see him
now.
take a project job. I want to see him start with something small and build it to something big to see what does he.
Wait, this isn't Football Manager.
No,
what are you talking about?
But here's the thing. I don't know what a Jesse Marsch. I don't know what a Jesse Marsch team is. I know what a Red Bull team is that Jesse Marsch managed. I don't know what a Jesse Marsch team
Jesse
is
Marsch
yet.
built that team. I mean, I know it's within MLS constraints, which changes the complexion of it. But Jesse Marsch pushed out a sporting director, a GM, in order to get his way so he can mold that team into what he wanted it to be. And they were the best version of themselves when Jesse Marsch was at the controls effectively. Right?
So you're assuming that whatever we saw at Red Bull, that's Jesse Marsch, and that's what we'll see at the next team he's at.
The team that went and won a supporter shield when he left midseason to go
Oh, you're
coach
talking
at
about
Leipzig?
New York.
Huh?
I mean, you're talking about MLS.
I'm talking about MLS. What are you
I think you're talking
about?
I'm talking about Salzburg.
Well, Salzburg was built with the Red Bull idea, but that's the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have we ever seen Jesse Marsch play Jesse Marsch's ball? Are we seeing Red Bull ball? I don't know the difference.
It's one and the same. What's the difference? What is it? What are you talking about? It's one and the same.
Thing.
It's the same thing.
I don't know what it is. I think some of that style has been pressed upon him, as that's the way that franchise plays.
But no. But if that's the case,
Yeah,
then
but he likes it.
He
He
wouldn't have
likes it.
stayed with it at Leipzig when it clearly wasn't working. I don't. The question is whether or not Jesse Marsch knows how to play something else than what he plays the Red Bull way. That's the question.
And
Does he
that's
know
why I'm
how
saying
to?
I would like to see him get a chance at the beginning of a season to start fresh with the team and actually see what he does with the season. I don't want to see him as a substitute teacher getting spitwads thrown at him from 16th place. Like, I don't want to see a caretaker
but that's
manager.
That's
You might
your
have to
lot
get through this job first before that
That's
happens.
the lot in life you have. You have to.
If you fail, though, now you have both of those on your conscience. Who's going to take you then?
The crazy thing about this, and I know we already talked about failing upward. The crazy thing about this is not a lot of coaches get an opportunity, especially this early in their career, get an opportunity to stay in the majors for their next job. He doesn't have to go down to AAA. He doesn't have to do a rehab assignment if he doesn't want to. He can take this job. Now, he is obviously in danger of being relegated if he doesn't figure out how to get the results. But as we already said, there are very winnable games. The talent is there for them to be in the Premier League next year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They're more talented than Burnley, Watford, and Norwich.
I'm not debating that.
Okay, so if that's the
And if
case,
they stay up, they've got money.
and you play,
I guess I'm risk adverse. That's what it comes down to. I'm
problem-
risk
the-
adverse. I would rather him take.
that.
I would rather him take a championship team or an Eredivisie team and start fresh in the fall than take this job and fail. I'm risk averse. I don't know what to tell you.
If he does that, how long is he there?
How long is he there? Who else? Who does he basically set himself up to be a second-tier manager because he took a second-tier job?
I mean,
And again, I'm not firing Greg. I like him a lot more than a lot of people do, and including more than much of the commentariat of this program over on the YouTube comments that I'm watching right now. But does U.S. Soccer have a two-term men's national team coach going into a World Cup they're hosting? If not, if that door opens, I kind of think he's going to want to be near that.
I
door.
think it's insane. I mean, again, my gut says he doesn't want that job because he wants to succeed in Europe. But I don't think he's given up on that yet. So it would be insane for me for Jesse Marsch to say no. He can say no to Leeds if he doesn't think it's the right situation. That's one thing. I mean, I guess if Jared's idea holds water and somebody else from maybe a second-tier European league comes in or somebody who gives them the chance from the beginning of the season, fine. You're not going to sit around and wait until January of 2023 before you make your next move. That's if offers are coming your way, you're going to sit around for that long.
January 2023? Why would you 2023?
No. Just on the off chance that the U.S. national team job is open. That's what we're talking about here.
I'm just messing around when I
Right.
say
No,
that.
I understand that, but
That
if
to
there's
me, Jason, is an argument for. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, John.
That is an argument for taking the Leeds job in my book.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because you're
I see what
available
you're
then.
saying.
Take it now.
Mm-hmm.
Take it now. Get the most out of it that you can, and then see where it can go.
Okay, so
I get it. It's tough to say no to an EPL job. Every guy probably out there dreams of having the EPL job. But you also got to ask yourself, is it the right EPL job? Do you just take anyone just because it's there?
Well, there's only 20 of them.
Yeah.
They don't come off in that.
Wait,
they come
there's only 20 of them, and Brad Bradley took one of them for that same reason.
I don't think Bob was wrong to take the job. It obviously didn't work out.
Correct.
But you don't know. You can't presume failure, Jared. I mean, I think that's what you're saying, that there's too many potential failure data
He
points.
could also get into the EPL by taking the club like a full up and getting his way there. That's not the only way is to get hired in.
He could take a team up, but those jobs aren't open right now. Fulham's not open.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that this isn't the only path. And I think everyone just wants him to pull the trigger because it's there. You don't take every opportunity that comes your way.
I think if you are trying to prove yourself at the highest levels of the game and one of the 20 teams in the biggest league in the world come calling, I think it's kind of crazy to say no. I really do. I think it's kind of crazy to say
situation
no.
matters, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, and this is the argument that you're making. Romero says if Jesse wins at a second-tier job, he'll 100% get another shot at a top-5 league job. No question.
Sure.
Maybe go to the look. If there's a maybe Stuttgart comes open next year, or at the end of maybe soon. Maybe Stuttgart comes open. He could be American on following an American, and maybe get them up next year. Who knows? Maybe. Why not? I guess it's possible.
I just think you got to take that shot, that opening. If you think you can keep them up, which as we discussed earlier with their schedule, we think they can. And somebody asked me if I want Steve Sampson back. No. Somebody said bring Bielsa to the USMNT. I actually hope, quietly, I wonder if the Bielsa hive on American soccer social media is going to look at him now and wonder if maybe just because he's got a famous name does not necessarily make him right to the U.S. national team. There's my honest take.
Okay. Jonathan Tannenwald calling us up, talking Jesse Marsch. Thank you, Jonathan.
A pleasure, fellas.
There goes Jonathan Tannenwald. All right. So we have another call waiting. I want to get to Will because he wants to talk a little bit MLS, and he's been waiting forever. But we have a couple other things lined up. So let's make sure we get to those things before we finish up tonight because I didn't expect necessarily 40 minutes on Jesse Marsch. There's Will from Minnesota. Will, you're on the Best Soccer Show.
Hi, guys. How's my audio? I'm in a comfortable position right now.
You sound great, man. You sound relaxed. Get in.
All right, cool. So I will just kind of give my 2.5 second bit on Marsch. I think it's good I think it's cool he's going to Leeds because that's a team that should kind of stay up with the players that they have. That's all I'm going to say about that. But moving on, Minnesota United, that's the team that I watch in MLS. I am the guy that I want to go for the win every time we play, and I think it was just one of those things. We played a good team out there, but I think we could have. I think we were really close to pulling out 3 points on match day 1 on the road in Philadelphia, who has a good team, and I thought it was cool that our new signing, Kevin Arriaga, he was man of the match. I mean, and from my perspective, but that it was kind of cool. We had the first game of the season, and people who watch MLS got to watch us. I've got one other thing to say, but what do you guys think about opening week?
Well, let me ask you a question about your team. Okay, is this a playoff caliber team? Because in our predictions, only one of the 4 of us took Minnesota as a playoff team. It was Mr. Jason Davis, so congratulations to him. But the rest of us, maybe we don't believe this time around. What's your feeling? Do you have enough talent to make the playoffs and maybe even push into the playoffs?
Yeah, no, I think we definitely have a playoff caliber team. I think that's kind of where you can draw the line, though. I think with the way Minnesota sports fandom is, even in MLS, like I truly follow every major sports team that we have, but I know that the MLS teams get the least following in Minnesota, even though we have we sell out crowds. We have a great stadium, and that's the thing is there's a high expectation for our team. So I think the playoffs are kind of the minimum. I don't think that this team right now can truly compete for an MLS Cup. But the great thing about MLS is there's a chip, chair, and a chance. And I think that our team gives us a chance. We have talented players. I think our attacking team is solid. I am a very big fan of Robin Lod. The guy sorry. The guy is so under the radar. He just scores whenever we need him to score. But one other thing I want to talk about before you guys let me go, because you guys have a show to run. So I was at the game February 2nd for U.S. men's national team. That was so awesome. It was so great to have a game here. I know people were upset. It was cold. It was not right to have a game here in February. They should have had a game here right away. But it was great to have a game here, and I'm glad we did not like show a L on the board. Like if you're gonna have a game in the cold here, you got to get a W. That's all I got to say. Thank you for giving me some time tonight.
Appreciate it,
Thanks,
Will
Will.
from Minnesota, jumping in here. All right, so what we wanted to get to, and we do have a little bit of time left, so I think we can squeeze this in. I don't know about the game. We did prep a game. I'm not sure that's going to get in, but
We know we don't have like an out, right? We can be as long as we want.
No, I know we can. We can. I just, I don't
Radio
know.
guy.
Do people like 2-hour podcasts? I mean, I don't know. We can make a 2-hour podcast. All right, so we're going to debut a feature here. I think most of the people who listen to us know, certainly if you're a Patreon member at the Bestie on the Slack or listening to the bonus show, you know about Morgan, our social media manager. She does a bunch of stuff for us. She's going to come on, and we got a feature here. This
Our
is a way to-
dedicated youth.
Yes, right. She makes us feel younger. That's absolutely true. Actually, she makes us feel older, but she brings the show's age, the average age, way down with her presence. She's sort of our homegrown signing, Jared, right? Like we're putting her in the lineup,
I
giving
like
an
it.
opportunity to play, and giving her a chance here on the field.
She's doing dances after goals that we don't know what the references are.
Now, what is that? Jared has to look them up on Google. What is that dance that she's
Like
doing?
you
I have no
knew.
idea. I was aware of it in passing. I'm not going to say I was an expert. All right, so basically, look, we talked a lot about Jesse Marsch because that was the big news, but Americans playing abroad, that was a thing happening. Today, there was the Carabao Cup final, Christian Pulisic involved. So we've asked Morgan, the young one on the show, to bring us an update on the Americans abroad in emoji form. We're going to do this. What emoji best describes the current form of Americans abroad? And we're not like the whole pool, right? Morgan, you don't have like 50 of these, right?
Oh my God, no.
So she's prepped a couple. So where do we want to start, Jared? Give me a name. and
I'll give you a
and
name.
pick one.
I think let's start with an easy one first.
Okay.
Brendan Aronson. That's an easy one, right? What's Brendan Aronson's emoji? What's his form? What emoji best describes Aronson's form? Again, you have to. I don't communicate in emojis. I'm a grown ass man. I use words. So you're gonna have to maybe describe what this emoji is.
Are they always spelled correctly? Those words? Are we sure about that part?
Depends on how clumsy my fingers are that day.
All right, Morgan. Brendan Aronson.
All right, I'm gonna try my best to describe this. It's like the sweating red emoji where he's like hot. He's hot right now. He's super hot right now. There was a week long where he scored 2 goals and had an assist in the Champions League. He's kind of on fire for his club right now, and there's no stopping him.
With McKennie's absence, is he now the most informed American?
I think that's probably
we'll
right.
see by the time qualifying comes around, because Pulisic has also been pretty good.
I
but it's
think
only
there's
recent.
another name. I don't know if Morgan prepped an emoji for this name, but I think there's another name out there that could be in better form, which is surprising. I think we're all a little
Who's
bit
that?
shocked by this. Serginho Dest.
Dude had 2 good games. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
But
he
that's
was
what form
riding the
is.
pine a month ago. You know, like
No, I understand that. Do you have an emoji for Dest ready to go? What's
I don't have one ready to go, but I'm kind of giving him like the benefit of the doubt. I'd be like this kind of.
I'm gonna give him a thumbs up. That's what I would do. That's my
there a-
level.
is it-
That's
wait,
my
hold on.
level of emoji is a thumb.
Is there an emoji that goes like this? I don't think there's an
No,
emoji that
but
goes.
I'm making one now.
There's a shrug.
Which I don't think
You
you're.
can
I think
do
you're
the
missing the
shrug, you can do the
spirit of
shrug.
this. You have to use the actual
I
emojis
didn't
as.
prep Serginho Dest.
Yeah, it's Jason's
not?
fault. He threw a curveball.
I did, but I think I mentioned before that. I think I mentioned him.
By the way, this is the emoji right here. This is the one
That's
that.
the emoji.
Yes.
So-
by the way, yes.
in the chat, if
somebody
you can
mentioned-
match them, put them in the chat. We'll put them up.
You know what? We got a lot of people responding. So this is also Brendan Aronson. This is a campfire. So hot,
Any
red
kind
hot
of
for Brendan
fire.
Aronson. Campfire is a good one. Any fire. Yep. Here's Wesley says fire. Okay. Dest. This one, Dest? I don't know what that says. 3 out of 10. 5
3
out
out
of
of
10.
10. Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah, for sure. Dest is playing well when he gets minutes. Ish. Barcelona's just not playing well in general, so it's kind of hard to gauge how good he is. But he's starting to get more trusted minutes. Dani Alves is not playing right now, so he has opportunity to shine.
Dani Alves is slowly turning into a skeleton. Is what's happening right now. All
right, here's my next
Legend,
one,
but
Morgan.
come on.
Next one for you, Josh Sargent.
Ooh.
All right,
No
so
other
I
rank
did,
will do. Sargent.
This emoji, this one, because
Oh,
the thinking
okay.
emoji.
Thinking
because
emoji.
he's not playing in his natural position, but he's playing well, and he's playing on a team that's not very good. So it's like a very hard to judge and think about what he's doing. I think personally he's playing well, and obviously he's gathering our attention again, getting rumors that he could be called back into the national team for this camp. So we'll have to see. He's
As
playing
what
well
position
in the wing.
though? That's where the
Exactly.
thought. That's where the thinking thing comes in. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, Josh Sargent, we see you. I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing you.
What am I
How
seeing,
does that?
Josh?
How does that
You're seeing
plug and play
versatility
into
there. Seeing versatility.
Carrot because he's redhead? Thanks, Steve. That's right on the nose. Making
that's
good
messed
jokes
up.
in the chat now.
All right, how about this? How about
roll
someone
emoji.
that's not on the upswing right now? What about Mr. Ricardo Pepi?
Ooh,
For
Ricardo
Pepe, I had
Pepi.
the sweating but like nervous emoji, so kind of like the opposite of Brendan Aaronson's. He's not really playing well. Like other people on this list, it's not a very good team. So it's hard to judge, but he hasn't been getting many minutes lately. The club is not playing well, and he hasn't scored. So it's
I like
all
Cold
kinda
because
up
that's
in
a
the
guy
air.
that's cold and not happy about it.
Yeah,
That's kind of
that
Ricardo
one.
Pepi
Freezing
right now.
cold, Mr. Pepe, and that sucks because, God, I wanted that kid to hit the ground running. I really needed him to be in form.
Ricardo Pepi's emoji is that like Aaron said, like Morgan said, it's that feeling when you get called on in class and you don't know the answer to the question.
Yes,
That's
that
Ricardo
is such
Pepi
a
right
good
now.
Analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should have done the homework.
If I just checked out the book for like 10 minutes last night, I would have been ready for this one. Yeah, that's where that's at. Okay. Who else we
Last
got?
one. I'm gonna give you one more. Okay, just this last one. This is a guy that's very polarizing. Things are happening for him right now. What about Christian Pulisic? Where's Pulisic's form right now? How are we describing that?
So I have
believe
like
it?
this emoji.
Oh, that's
because
what my
he's
wife
that
does to me.
close. Oh my god.
Okay, so this
That's
is
my
what we-
emoji.
This is not allowed.
Nick's applauding.
There's
By the way, the audio listener has no idea what I'm talking about right now. They couldn't see what she did.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
Just okay.
Close emoji. He's close.
Close, like a little bit. Like I'm crushing. Oh, this
he
is a
looks
really
like-
old reference.
Oh, I love your reference you're about to do.
I
Just
was
do
like
it.
A Kids in the
I'm
Hall
crushing your
reference.
heads. I'm crushing your heads.
Morgan, do you know who Kids in the Hall are? Do you know who they are? Oh my God! Of course you don't.
I
She
know,
shouldn't.
like crushing your
No.
head though.
There's
I
people
know.
our age that don't know who
She
Kids in the
would.
Hall are.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's true. But anyway. Okay.
Yeah, so I said this emoji because he's very close. He's starting to get back into his confident self. You saw when he scored the other day, he was confident. He was feeling it. He even tried the gritty
Did he
dance or
look
whatever.
confident this weekend though?
missed
Couple.
Well, I think he was.
I would just say not
fine.
sharp.
I think he was.
I
fine.
thought he
think
was.
that-
He played well. He just
that
didn't put it
game
away.
that game was a weird one. I mean, it's Liverpool, right? It's one of the toughest games you're going to play, and both teams dropped their full strength squads on that field. I mean, you even had Kepa getting sent to the bench for Mendy, but then coming on to play penalty kicks, which obviously Liverpool ended up winning. And Pulisic was off the field by that point, so he didn't have to take a penalty kick, which I'm kind of thinking that was a good thing. We didn't have to worry. I mean, he's obviously converted some penalty kicks for the United States, but I wouldn't want him to be in that position and risk dinging his confidence if he somehow misses in a Carabao Cup final, right?
Yeah, I mean, but that's once again, this week gets paid to do.
No,
Like-
I understand that. You're right. You're right.
Listen, I didn't want him taking the one against Mexico. Then he shelved it. You know, like the guy's got enough confidence. It's just whether or not it's going to come out right now. And it begs the question still, like Chelsea's kind of playing him all over the place. What's his best position? We think we know what it is, but kind of like with Sargent, some of that same stuff coming out there. Like, what's the right position for Christian Pulisic?
When Christian Pulisic plays in his natural position, he plays really well. We saw that during the week with Champions League. So, but when he's out of position, he's just not on it.
Yeah, but he's
I
asking
think-
to do other
He's
things
close.
too, though. He's being asked to do. He has different expectations when he's playing that false nine position.
Well,
you know?
he was playing when that Champions was it the Champions League match? He was in the front line. He was on the left again, given that opportunity.
Yeah.
He was also making excellent defensive recovery runs. So
And Conte trusted him. He could have played it either way. He played it
could
into
have played it
Pulisic's
either way.
path.
I think it was more open for Pulisic in that
Yeah. I
situation than it was on the other side.
But he could have played it the other way.
He could have played it the other way. All right, so that's Morgan with our Americans abroad in form in the form of, we need a name for this, emoji report. It's the emoji report with Morgan. That's what that is.
Yikes.
Like McKenny in a wheelchair. Come on, Nate. What are we doing here,
Kind
Nate?
of funny though.
Come on,
Kind of
Nate.
funny.
What are we doing? Thank you, Morgan. Thank you
He
very
could have been
much.
he could have been a foot.
It could have been that would have been better. I would have laughed harder if it was a foot, actually. All right, so we do have time. You want to play a game? You want to?
Yeah. Are we bringing Nikki Soup and Salad in for this?
I believe Nikki Soup and Salad is going to step in to be involved in this. What's going on?
Wait.
Nick?
Is it the game or is it your
Hold on.
team? Which is the
Hold
thing?
on.
What's making that no face?
Hold on, give me a second.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
He's got to be played in. What's
Unlike
what
my
is
team.
that? Oh man,
Nick, did you get a fresh cut? You got a fresh cut going there?
Nope, still the same.
No. Oh, it must just be gray.
It's very great watching that team in Cincinnati.
I got that too, buddy, right here. See that?
So wait, hold on. Before we get into this game, real quick. I know this isn't whatever. Let's just carve out 30 seconds. Did you see anything at all that leads you to believe this year is going to be different? Anything? A little bit of hope somewhere. Anything?
Did Noonan dress sharp?
I didn't even see what he was wearing, to be honest with you. Did I
Okay.
see anything that makes me think it will be different? No.
It's a
I
rough
didn't.
start for my boy right here, man.
Jared, they gave up goals in the second.
And here's the rough
14th.
part. And I don't mean to pile on, Nick. I really don't, because I know I
43rd.
feel terrible if I was in your position right now. The hard part is, it wasn't like it was Seattle or something. Like it was Austin.
I know.
It was
That's the
Austin.
rough part, man.
I
Yeah, it was
know.
Austin.
Ugh, jeez.
The thing that was frustrating is
It was away though. Maybe it's because it was away.
it's not going to matter. They had
The
more
sea
wins
of
away
green
last year
down
than they
there
did
in
at home.
Austin. Matthew McConaughey was probably there.
He was there.
See, like how you gonna win with
He's
that?
got to be there. He's the what is it? The ambassador of
ambassador.
vibes. What's his name? What's it?
Something like that.
I want that designation. Can I
think
be
it's
the
something
ambassador
like
of
that.
vibes?
It is. It's something like that. He's like the president of vibes or some nonsense like that. Which whatever. He can be whatever.
All right,
he
let's let
wants to
Nick
be.
off the hook. Let's let him off the hook.
All
Okay,
right.
my
Can I
man
just
had a-
say?
What-
Can
go
I
ahead,
just
buddy.
say this? So I turned on the game late because I had to go. We had some family function that we had to go do on Saturday.
Yeah.
And as we were driving home from that event, I said to my daughter, "Hey, the FC Cincinnati game kicked off at 6:00." And at this point, I looked at my clock. It said 6:18 p.m. I said, "How many goals are they down?" And she's like, "Oh, I'll probably guess one." And turn on the TV, and they were down 2.
I like the conversation is like, how well are they doing? It's how many goals are they down?
I mean, it's got to
I mean,
be just.
So then as I'm
Exhausting.
scrolling through to see when the goals occurred, and I say 2 minutes, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now?
Is your team's mascot Eeyore?
Man, look, if we put Eeyore in a Cincinnati jersey, how many would we sell? How much would that go for? How much could we get for that? Can we bootleg some T-shirts? Are we going to get in trouble? Or wait, hold on, is Winnie the Pooh in the public domain now? Didn't he
don't
just
know.
move over? I think I don't know how that works with the actual visuals. I don't know.
Yeah,
how that works.
what it can be instead of it's actually like a pile of poo that has like a Cincinnati flag in it and it says "Oh poo."
That's the emoji game we should have played.
It's too easy. That's too on the nose. That's not sophisticated humor at all. Just a pile of poo for FC Cincinnati. Come on, man.
All right, Nick, you want to play a game, make yourself feel better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man.
Okay, so we've limited the game now to former Manchester United players and American players of the last 10 years, because that way Nick feels confident. But to help with that, your first player, the game we're going to be playing today is a game we've played before. Maybe it was on a bonus show or a regular show, I can't remember, but it's called Career Year. And for Career Year, I'm going to name a player, and both Jason and Nick are going to give me a year that player was active. That player, depending on what year you pick, you will get as many points as that player had goals that season. So you're looking for the best possible year from a goal total standpoint for that player. Okay?
Yep.
So, for example, if Nick was to guess someone and they got 20 goals in the season and Jason picked and they had 10 goals, Nick would be ahead by 10 points at that. Okay? So, career year, and the first player...
Is somebody going to do the math for this? Because I'm sure.
I have it
somebody's
ready to
gonna
go, okay?
All right.
Who's
Who's the first player?
Tell me, what is the career year for Wayne Rooney?
Oh, gee.
I'm going to let you know that they go from anywhere from 1 to a high of 27. Anyway, we didn't just establish who was first.
Oh,
Now,
so
Nick-
you're giving us wait. So,
I'll just tell you that's the range of how many goals he's had in a season. There's a season where he only had 1. His best season is 27. I'm not telling you what year, though.
I don't know if that's a hint, but yeah, I see.
Not really
I
a
see
hint.
what
I'm just
he's
giving
doing.
you a range.
The max
okay?
you can get is 27 points.
So,
out of
Nick,
Wayne Rooney.
Because I think Jason won last time, would you like to go first or second? Knowing who it is, even.
I don't think I won.
I think you did.
I'll go first.
All right,
for
Nick.
it. Let's
What
hear
was Wayne Rooney's career year?
So he scored 27 goals in his career year. Is that what you're saying?
His best year ever was 27.
Okay. I'm going to rule out DC.
Really?
I am. I'm going to say they won the Champions League in 08. I'm going to go 2011.
2011. Okay. Jason, what year are
I'm
you going to
have
pick for Wayne
I
Rooney?
think I forgot to turn off the chat. I went to the private chat. I not that anybody was saying for sure.
You don't know what they
looked
know
it
what they're
up.
talking about. They're just guessing.
No, true. But my gut was 2012. I'm going to say 2012.
All right.
Whatever year it was where they went to the Champions League final and lost to Barca for the second time, I think.
All right, Nick, you said 2011, correct?
Yeah.
So that year, Wayne Rooney played 28 games. And in those 28 games,
That's not a good number.
No,
he
it's not.
scored. Well, I'm not counting any. I'm only calling domestic goals.
Yeah,
no
this is only
European goals or
domestic
anything. Just
Yeah, we have to
domestic
put
goals.
that out there.
Oh, okay. Well, oops. Oh, well.
I don't think it would have changed your mind, would it? Would you
Yeah,
like to
would
select
not.
a
I
different
was.
year?
I
Would
was
you like to
basing
select a
that
different
based
year?
Wait, hold
on
on.
they played more games that year.
Yeah. What? So we probably should establish. I don't remember last time if we did this. Where are you getting your numbers from?
Wikipedia.
The same place
Well,
I did it when I was
But
that's fine.
Wikipedia is going to be the total number of games he played across all competitions.
No, it's
No, it
it's
breaks it
broken up.
down.
It's broken up.
Okay. There's a
Don't,
okay. There's
don't try to tell me mansplain my own game to me.
well, mansplaining.
As the
Would you like to pick a different year, Nick? Now knowing that.
I'll stick with 2012. So you can go if you want to
Okay.
pick.
no,
a different year, you can do it.
2011's fine. You already gave me the and how many games he played. So
Okay. And by the way, Jason, when you say 2012, you mean 2012, 2013, or do you mean 2011,
Oh
2012?
yeah, I forgot about this. English.
I'm going by the year that they finished. So when Nick says 2011, I'm thinking the finishing year 2011. Is that what you're
Yeah,
thinking,
I
Nick,
think
when you
that's
say it?
yeah, so I'll say 2011, 2012.
yeah,
Okay, and
2010,
so-
2011.
Okay. All right. So Nick, in 2010, 2011, he had 28 games and 11 goals. 11 goals that season. Okay. Jason, in 2011, 2012, Wayne Rooney had 34 games and his career year of 27 goals in that year. So, Jason out to a quick 16-point lead on that.
Now here's the thing, though, because you, never mind. You set the bar high you went with a player who has a high total. You can't go to somebody whose best year is like 9 goals now, because then Nick has no chance of catching up.
Well, don't worry about that, friend, because
Okay.
your next
All right.
person, tell me the career year of Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Oh man.
Would you like to know the range on Zlatan?
No. Do you want to know ranges, Nick? Does that help?
Yeah,
It does. Okay.
I think it helps.
Zlatan's best year,
Uh-huh.
38 goals in one year.
So I have a choice here. I can either go try to figure out which year he had 38 goals, or I can simply say 2019 with the LA Galaxy. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Because you know exactly what that number is?
I don't know exactly what that number is, but I think it's a good number.
Okay. Is that your answer?
I'll say 2019. I got a 16-point lead right now. I'm just playing
So
from the front.
his career year was 34.
His
38.
career year is 38. His worst year is 0.
Well, that's most players.
I don't believe that Zlatan has a single season record for goals in Major League Soccer, does he?
No.
Because 38 would be it.
Yes.
I want to
Again,
say
I'm
this
not-
is
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I want to say this is probably one of his PSG years. But I can't remember. I'm trying to count backwards. So you got 3 years in LA. He spent the last 2 years at Milan.
Recently,
No one's gonna help you.
I know. I'm thinking it out. I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah.
So the past 2 years at Milan.
Well,
3
you know,
years-
Jason's telling you that he thinks he was in LA in 2019. You can go from there instead of going from Milan. If he's right.
Oh, 2, 3, 2.
My brain is all scrambled by the pandemic. I could be very wrong about that, by the way.
I'll say 2015.
2015. Okay. And so once again, that's 2014, 2015, correct?
By the
Yeah.
way, we both of us picked years deep into his 30s. Neither one of us went back into his 20s.
That's actually a good thing to do, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so Zlatan's career year is 2016, where he had 38 goals for PSG in 31 games.
That French league is great. It's great.
His 2015 year, the year right before that with PSG, he only played 24 games, but he had 19 goals still.
That's not bad.
So that's a good goal tally. In 2019 for MLS,
I might have screwed this up.
he played 31 games.
Okay.
And he scored 31 goals.
Okay.
Oh my
God. That's where I went. That's why I went with 2019.
That's a 12-point swing, but you were only 1 year off, Nick. You were 1 year off.
Man.
All right, so that puts Jason up by 28 right now.
Because I'm playing from the front, and I knew he had another big year. I didn't need to aim for his career year. I just aimed for a year. I know.
By the way, PSG years, the PSG for the 4 years there, 30, 26, 19, 38. Pretty damn
That's why I
good.
went there. That's why I went to PSG. I knew
No,
he
you're
had
right.
a huge year.
And he had another year where he was matching the 2019 year.
And
so
Lionel Messi barely scores at PSG. I mean, what is that? I know, different players, different clubs, different league.
All right, gentlemen, your next player, Mr. Chicharito Hernandez.
Ooh, okay.
Chicharito Hernandez.
Interesting.
What would be the career year for?
I thought this was going to come up.
Do you want to know his range?
Yes.
His range is anywhere from 0 to his top year is 21, which is exactly the difference right now. Oh no, it's not. It almost makes up the difference of the point total.
It doesn't matter because okay. Nick goes first here, so I'll let him go first.
21. This is career year.
His career year is 21 goals. There's a lot of low ones, just so you know.
Right. I don't think he ever scored 21 at Manchester United. We know he didn't score 21 last year or the year before. He joined Manchester United after the 2010 World Cup, so I'll go 2009, 2010.
Okay. And Jason, what would you like to do? You're going to go chalk, aren't you? You know an MLS year. Are you going to
this is game theory now. Like, I don't have to choose. I don't have to look for his career year again. I know that he scored 17 goals last season in MLS. I can just say 2021, and I'm going to maintain my lead because he doesn't have a year big enough to make. The best he can do is +4.
Oh, I should have then guessed the last year of Major League Soccer.
You could have protected against it. Yeah, you should have protected against me by picking last year.
But you wouldn't do that, though, Jason, would you?
No, probably not.
That would be fun.
No.
You're up to 28, man.
Okay.
Floss
right,
on him a little
right.
bit.
I do.
No, dance
right.
on him a little bit.
I can play with
Show
my
him
lead.
you don't need to play that way.
Well, so, okay. His career year was 21 goals, and I don't think he came close I don't think he came close to that in Europe. So that means I'm going to go back to the Chivas years. You picked 09-010 because that's his last Chivas year?
Yeah, that's what he thinks it is, yeah.
Then I'll say 2008, 2009.
Chicharito's, you are right, last year was 17. Okay.
Yeah.
In 2008, 2009, in Guadalajara, Jason's pick, he played 22 games, and he scored 4 goals.
Okay. That's not a good pick.
Okay.
In 2009, 2010, he also played in Guadalajara. And he had 28 games, and he had 21 goals. His career year for Mr. Nicky Soup and Salad.
Whoa.
So good thing we pressured Jason into taking a different number because that's a 17-point swing.
Stupid. You pressured me to play.
All of a sudden, the game's fun again.
Yeah. I know. It would have been boring. I'm taking one for the show here. That's
all right, your last one. And this one, you can definitely make up 11 goals in this one. I'm not going to tell you the swing. I'm not going to tell you the gap on this one. Okay? That way there's less math involved here. What's the career year for Clint Dempsey?
Oh.
Whoa. Okay.
And Nick, you are going second. Jason is first on this one. Jason, what's the career year for Mr. Clint Deuce Dempsey?
I'm going to take 2010, 2011. I don't know if that's
2010,
right,
2011.
but I feel that's a good Fulham year for Clint Dempsey.
I'll let you know, Nick. I'm not going to tell you anything else. It is not his career year.
Oh, what Jason just
So I'm
picked?
just saying there are points on the board right now. I'm not saying how many.
Okay.
But there are points on the board to be had.
So you're telling me he did not get the career year?
He did not get the career year.
Did he score more goals? Did he ever have, was his career year? It can't be in Seattle, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. It definitely wasn't in New England, I don't think.
You don't think it would be the Revs?
Maybe. I don't remember him having.
I just don't know when he left.
Years.
Man, this is a tough one.
Probably should have gone a year later on that. That's my thinking. But
what year did Jason pick?
Jason picked 2010, 2011.
I'll go 11-12.
Did I say 11-12 or 10-11? I said 10-11.
You said 10-11.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said what I said. Watch me lose this because you guys pressured me into some garbage.
In 2010, 2011, Jason's pick, he played 37 games for Fulham. In those 37 games, he had 12 goals.
It's not a bad number. I'll take
that's
that.
pretty
number.
good.
That's a good number.
I'll take that number.
Plus another 3 in the Cup and another 2 in another appearances. I'm not sure where. But in 2011, 2012, also for Fulham, he also played 37 games. And in that year, he had his career year of 17 goals, though. So you only get 5 back. But you did pick his career year that with the final total of Jason beating Nick by 6.
I don't think the points idea is bad. I don't think it's a way of keeping scores. It's bad. But I do think if the game is career year, then maybe it should be plus or minus on the career year or something like some tweak to this.
Why y'all trying to change the game?
Well, no. Or if you get the career year on the dot,
there's a plus 5 or something.
Like
that could be something. I mean, there already is a bonus. In fact, you got the career year. You know.
True.
Now here's the thing: you guys have a difference of 6 right now. I had one more player prepped that has very low goal totals, but 6 could be in play.
I'm suddenly feeling like Jesse Marsch taking over Leeds United right now. That's what I'm.
Would you like to play one more round for a player that has a 6-point swing pretty easily because they're low?
I'm down for it. Let's do it.
Sure,
One more.
do it.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. Tell me, what is the career year for DeMarcus Beasley?
Oh shit.
A midfielder by trade, a defender by trade later in his career.
Oh shit.
And
Well, we know
first
it's
person
more
to
than
go
6.
is Jason is going first. Do you want to know what his career? I don't think of this year is going to. I can tell you what the numbers. Okay, you don't want the spread?
Don't give us the numbers. No.
Okay.
I don't want to know. This is going to be mindless speculation on my part.
Okay.
I'm trying.
I will tell you this: there are 2 years. His career year is matched twice. There are 2 options that he has 2 career years.
Okay. I will. Man. So we go from Fire to PSV. Is that the direct route? I can't remember his route.
I can't tell you, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Obviously,
I wish I
came
could.
back.
I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. I love this time.
He was a defender by the end, so as you said, it's not later career. I don't think. This is completely a shot in the dark. I'm gonna say 0607.
0607.
I'm gonna say 0607.
Okay.
Just a shot in the dark. I have no idea.
Nick.
So I believe he was on the 06 World Cup team, correct?
I can answer that question.
think
Jason can choose to answer it. I can't.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, he was on every World Cup team until the time we didn't make the World Cup. So from 2002, 2002, 2006, 2010, 2014, did not get a chance to play in the 5th.
I'm gonna say leading into the. He was pretty young in the 02 World Cup. I'll say his career year was probably leading. What year did Jason say again?
Said 0607.
Yeah, he said 0607.
I'm going to say trying to be in the best form heading into a World Cup. I'll go 09 2010.
09 2010. Okay. All right, so DeMarcus Beasley in 2006 2007. Do you have any idea what team he played for that year, Jason? What do you think?
My guess was PSV, but I don't remember where he was.
A lot of people don't remember that he spent 1 year at Manchester City.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And that's the year you picked.
It's probably not the good year, though.
And that year, he scored 3 goals.
Okay. City wasn't they weren't a powerhouse. They were definitely not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the City of now.
No, definitely not.
Nick,
3 goals. All right.
in
So if
09,
he-
10.
Hold on, wait. Can
Oh,
I just set Can you set the drama up real quick? Because if it's a 6-goal swing
now
that
9.
he needs 9, right, or 10?
You were currently 6 ahead of him, so he needs 9 to
Okay.
draw even.
And 10 to beat me.
Yes, and in
I don't-
There's
2009,
no chance that he had.
I don't think he ever scored 10. I don't
even
think
in
he ever
MLS
did.
year, huh?
Well, then I definitely didn't get it because he wasn't playing in Major League Soccer then.
Okay, in 2009, 2010, that was his last year at Rangers, where he only had 9 appearances.
Okay.
And he scored 2 goals. Nick.
Hey, that's pretty good return for 9 appearances.
His 2 career years are 2003 with the Chicago Fire, where he made 22 appearances and scored 7 goals.
Oh, 7.
So the numbers weren't going to be good for you either
Yeah.
because once Jason got 3, you weren't going to get there.
That was the
and
year
then
after the World Cup,
his
so.
his second best year, and I want to give a shout out to someone in the chat. Right here, Connor Rivera in the chat, who said his Puebla year was 2011-2012. In Puebla, he had 7 goals and 33 appearances in the Mexican League as well.
Okay.
So in order for me to even come back and win, Jason had to pick a year where he got 0,
Well,
0
and
or 1.
there were 1, 2,
Oh, okay.
3, 4, 5, 6 seasons where he had
yeah,
0.
but they're all,
and-
there would have been most of them would have been later when he was a defender.
No, there's an MLS year where he had 0 in
Oh,
2004 before he went to PSV.
Ah, okay.
He had 0 with Rangers one year. He had
Yeah,
0
not a
with
goal-scoring
Hanover.
player. Okay,
0 2 years and 3 years 0 with the Houston Dynamo.
All right.
All right, Jason's the winner. 10
Shout out
points.
to DeMarcus Beasley, by the way. Excellent
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Got a chance to meet him in Tampa. Great dude, and doing stuff with his hometown team. And by the way,
By
shout
me.
out to but in Fort Wayne. Shout out
Yep.
to that group, Mauricio Wilson and Gooch and DeMarcus Beasley. They're still doing that Crack podcast, which is really good. And I know that they talked to Grant Wall recently, and I know Gooch talked about his frustration of not being able to get a job as an executive or even a chance to prove himself in MLS. Called around and got no nibbles, and DeMarcus Beasley as well. And meanwhile, there are some guys who did get that opportunity, and I'll let you connect the dots on all of that. Just go check all that stuff out. All right, that's an extra huge edition of the Best Soccer Show. Do we have any other business?
But by the way, you basically got a bonus show on top of this, guys. So if you like this kind of content, come to the bonus show. These are the kind of games we play and stuff like that.
yeah.
You know, check
Yeah.
it out.
There's a little bit of extra life stuff in there. We haven't done so the last bonus show before this, the one we did on Wednesday, that was all MLS predictions. So if you wanted MLS predictions, go over and listen to that. Sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/thebestsoccershow. We didn't get into life stuff. I do have a pretty sizable development in my house that I would like to talk to some people
Oh
about.
man, she's pregnant again.
No.
Okay.
I'll leave it. It's not for this show at all. It has to be on the bonus show, and we'll probably do one
All
of
right,
those
great.
maybe
5-minute bonus show today then. Jeez.
Patreon.com/thebestsoccer show for that.
Yeah, I've been watching movies.
Yeah, Nicky Super Solid has been watching some movies. We got to
I don't
guess
know
the
what's
movies
changed.
he's
He's
seen.
having a midlife crisis right now. He's watching movies.
He's
Just
so
bored.
well. Okay, I was gonna say, football team is bad. Soccer team is bad.
His football team's not bad. They lost the
football team
Super
are
Bowl for God's
good.
sake.
I'm not sorry. They broke his heart. That's what I meant to
Okay.
say. You're right. They're not bad. They broke his heart. It's not even. They tried really, really hard. They just weren't there. All right. And
We got
Jared's
one review.
Jared's so excited about
Oh.
the Rams, right? So
Yeah.
excited.
My hometown team.
Yeah,
Rams till I die.
Yeah, okay. We got one review.
Yeah. What is it?
Does anybody remember what we asked people to put in the review?
Oh God, on Wednesday. What was
It was like 2 inches.
2 inches. What were the?
I
Give
don't
us the
remember all
words,
the-
Nick. I don't remember.
Seltzers was another one. I don't
Seltzer.
really remember either. Morgan
Okay.
and our
2
private
inches
chat here.
seltzer. What else?
We'll know when you read it.
Yeah, when you read it, we'll know.
Well, not all of them were included in this, but
Oh, okay.
this review from Wes,
So they did not get full points. All right.
partial credit.
Partial credit.
Best Soccer Pod, 5 stars. Thank you, Wes. Wes says, this is the best soccer podcast in America because 1, they appreciate my beard, which is longer than 2 inches. 2, they allow the listeners to call and debate them and give their opinions on American soccer. So, Wes, thank you for the review. We'll give you partial credit for that one.
Okay, there you go. Good stuff. Yeah, leave us a rating and a review.
Congratulations on your 2 inches width.
Preserve, hopefully. Yeah, that was the thing about last week. Nick just going, just going super redder than the background.
Nick went persimmon on us.
Persimmon. All right, we do got to run. Thank you very much for listening, guys. We're back at it Sunday, so make sure you check us out on your podcast machine if you missed any of this. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
The horror show. Oh, it's incredible!
The Sausage King of Chicago.
Get to the chopper! WNBC. WNBC. Danger zone!
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
It was there. Oh, here we go, saucing them up. Hit them, wet.
We are at DEFCON 1.
DEFCON 1.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup!
Jay Rodius.